Welcome to the Coast to Coast podcast, brought to you by Play Picks and the Lines, coming to you from the West Coast. Josh Lander, joined as always by my guy Nate Weitzer on the East Coast. We are looking at a pivotal Game 6, Brooklyn Nets, Milwaukee Bucks, back in Milwaukee. We'll be jumping into a couple of bets, and props are not quite out yet as we're recording this, but we will be looking at some players to target potentially. If you do still need a FanDuel or DraftKings account, head to fdpicks.com or dkpicks.com. Find all those local listings in your area, as well as some NBA playoff promos that are all over the place. Nate, let's go ahead and jump into the lines of this game.
Yeah, as we stand, it's Milwaukee minus 5.5 right now. I guess the books are waiting a little bit to see if any news breaks on the status of James Harden or Kevin Durant after they played nearly the entire game. But right now, the Nets plus 180 on the money line, and the total is around 220 for this game. I don't think that Steve Nash is going to sit either star. I think with Harden's hamstring, it's not going to get better in 2 days. It's not like you can just rest and all of a sudden be 100%. It's something that's going to just be a little painful and that he's going to play through. He's been an Iron Man throughout his career. I don't think that this is too big of a leap for him to just play through it. And I think in Game 5, it wasn't necessarily the injury hurting his offense. It was just some rust. Just not seeing the rim well. Not making the passes the way he has all season. Yeah. There's still going to be a little bit of rust in his second game back here, but I expect a bounce back game from Harden. I would definitely look at his scoring props when those come out. He averaged 28.6 points per game on the road this year, 12.3 assists per game, and shot 42% from three versus 30% at home. There was that stretch on the West Coast where he just carried them with KD out. I think that's one scenario I could see where Harden looks like James Harden, and all of a sudden Durant doesn't have to get 50, and the Bucks have no answers defensively. I do think Harden's going to be a liability on defense, as he was in that last game. So I am thinking that this could get over 220. It's the trends recently have not indicated that. The first two games in Milwaukee were played at a very slow pace. Milwaukee posted a 97 offensive rating, held Brooklyn to an 89 offensive rating. Milwaukee almost 53% assist rate, just a lot of one-on-one ugly basketball. But I think they know they need to correct that. Giannis has been in foul trouble almost every game in the series, right? He can't just go one-on-one. The Nets are hunting for charges. I think we see a little bit more team chemistry from the Bucks in terms of matching points. But I would still just from a value sense, take the Nets money line with that over. You're getting plus 425 on DraftKings for an explosive offensive team. Just basically, they're going to get over their total of 107.5. That's the safe bet, right? And if they get to the 110s and are able to close out Milwaukee, or you can get around plus 250 with that spread with them to keep it close, I feel pretty confident about the value you're getting there.
Yeah, interestingly, I think the storyline of the game for this one for me is James Harden. How healthy is he? Because I do think if he was healthy in Game 5 and it was just a matter of rust, as you and I sort of seem to think together, then you would expect him to have a big bounce back game where, he's coming out and controlling a lot more offensively. The only value I saw him really provide in this one was at the end of the game when KD really needed to start coming off screens and couldn't exactly run downhill for 45 feet straight like he had been, and needed to come off some screens. James Harden was at least able to be the guy handling the ball and then making the pass to him off the screen like that up top. So, hopefully in this game, for the sake of the Nets anyway, Harden will be Harden. I think what we can also look at is the disparity in this series that is clear at home versus away. The two biggest things, Kevin Durant doesn't get called the same way in Milwaukee that he does at Brooklyn. right? PJ Tucker ended up in foul trouble and wasn't allowed to do the exact same ticky-tack stuff or even really just get in his chest stuff that he was able to do in Milwaukee. I think you'll probably see a little bit of that, regress back towards the Milwaukee favor of things and let PJ Tucker do his thing. He'll also hopefully be able to take care of Harden, take advantage of the fact that Harden can't play D, as you mentioned. Canton just doesn't seem to right now. But PJ Tucker had 0 points with Harden guarding him a number of possessions in a row because he bricked, 3 or 4 threes from the corner and really wasn't able to do anything else, or, bring Harden into the paint or anything like that. So, I do think you'll look at Giannis and what he's able to do at home as well. And he will continue to get calls, and he's going to come out early and aggressive, I think, which will, lead you to be able to take his props and feel good about it. In fact, I actually want to take this chance to remind everyone to like and subscribe to the page, because you will be eligible, if you do so, to jump in the comments and let us know our player prop for this game, which is Giannis Antetokounmpo's player points, rebounds, and assists combined. Guess that. Put it into the comments after you've liked and subscribed to the page to be eligible to win that gift card opportunity. I personally will be taking his overs. As I always say, I'm not allowed to jump into the gift card prize there, so I will take his overs and put some of my own money on it because I think you're guaranteed to see that from him. Really, what this is going to come down to, once again, at the end of the game, I do think it'll be close in the way of, you might feel good about the Nets with 6 points. I do also feel good about the over because I'm banking on Harden to bring in a lot more on offense and, probably continue the same level of defense, which does help the total there if you want the over, as I do. And then, I'm also, like I said, going to take Giannis. I think KD is likely to have a game where he regresses a bit, as we mentioned. So if you want to take an under in his, if he's coming out at around 34.5 points, as I imagine he will, I feel much better about his under there than his over.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a close game, you have to feel a lot better about the Nets in this situation. I mean, Milwaukee was handed the game on a platter in Game 5 and did not deliver. They've struggled in close games all year. For a while, they were at the bottom 5 in the NBA in terms of finishing out one-possession games because Giannis is not a closer. I mean, his game is not well-suited to finishing in the postseason. Chris Middleton has been great in those situations and actually served up Giannis a dunk on a platter to tie the game in the final seconds. Giannis fumbled it. And as Sir Charles Barkley points out, he thinks it's because Giannis was trying to rush before he got fouled. And you can just put the guy on the line, and he's at best going to make one of two pretty much. Yep. It's not someone you want to play through down the stretch. But in my mind, this is either going to be a Milwaukee blowout win or a close Nets win. Because I think if it starts the way Game 5 did, where the Nets are down double digits early, I think pretty early Steve Nash saying, all right, I'm not going to rest my guys for this whole game, but I'm going to lay off, their minutes. I'm going to try to get them a little bit of rest before Game 7. We're just going to bank on our incredible run at home, and we're just going to get ready for that one. So I think that is something to watch for, but this is definitely a game to live bet in that instance.
Yeah.
To see if the Nets are going to bring that fight. You can really just tell a little bit early. I mean, aside from the numbers, how much fight they have, how interested they are in trying to close this out. Yeah. That would be an opportunity to maybe even get the Nets at better odds, as which would have paid off, pretty handsomely in Game 5.
100%. And if you look at Game 4, where the Nets lost Milwaukee, you saw all of the stars, at least Kevin Durant and the starters after Kyrie went down in that game. You saw them come out with about 5 minutes left in the game, down about 15 points. They gave up. They were down 15 points in Game 6 in a way that, you were like, look, KD hasn't done much yet, but the game has already sort of been called in a fashion where PJ Tucker can't grab his jersey and sort of elbow him in the chest in this game when he's on D. So you do expect KD to find some room. And, you knew he was going to have a big third quarter. And once it was within, 8 points, you were like, oh, this is a game. Kevin Durant could score 8 points in, a minute and a half by himself. So you've got to feel good about it. It's not the same vibe in Milwaukee, to your point. So I think if you like this, one bet you can feel good about, in my opinion, is the Bucks team total. because I think, it's one of those things where when they have somebody down a lot at home with that momentum and they're back against the wall like so, I think they might be able to step on their throats. Once again, this is going to come down to James Harden's health, in my opinion. If the Nets have 2 of their 3 stars, as we've said from the jump, they're the best team in the NBA, which is scary considering they have 3 of them. They probably won't get 3 of them back, at least in the next 2 to 3 weeks, if you believe the Kyrie speculation that that's his timetable, which to me, I still feel like it could be longer than that. So at best, you're getting 2 of 3 stars in this series, and that should be enough for them, which to your point, in a close game, give me Kevin Durant, give me James Harden. So I think, to me, it's worth it to sprinkle some onto the money line, which is really nice right now for the Nets. And then, take the over as well. And then look, if you see this going one way during the game, during maybe the middle of the second quarter, middle of the third quarter, it's within 8 to 10 points, and that's about what the spread is for Milwaukee. I think you take that and you see them run away with it to end the game. So that's what I'll be looking at for Nate. Either way, we're going to have another great one on our hands. Still a ton of question marks around health that's going to affect this one. So make sure you are staying up on what's going down up to the minute, really, in terms of player status and how healthy we see things in terms of news stories coming out of Milwaukee. We'll be back with another show for you guys soon. Make sure that you are liked and subscribed to win that gift card of Giannis's points, rebounds, and assists combined. Throw that in the comments. And until then, happy betting.